Hey guys, Chelsea here, and in this video we're going to do a mini history lesson on some of the stuff surrounding a passage you're about to get into. The passage mentions this guy over here, Bois. Alright, so if we jump back a little bit, 1865, slavery ended officially in America, right? Great time, all around, super good things. But unfortunately, several decades later, in the 1910s, Black Americans are still being treated like absolute crap, right? I mean, it's not a good time all around. You guys have probably learned about this in your schools. You've got forced segregation, Jim Crow laws. Black Americans were not really taught to read. They were in almost every possible way. The schools were defunded. The class sizes were massive. The white Americans didn't want blacks to learn how to read. They wanted to really keep these people down, and they succeeded in a lot of ways. Really terrible situation. Even in the North, where there's not Jim Crow laws, there were so many places where if you were black, you just couldn't get hired. Like, you know, don't even try to apply. It's hard to get a job. It's hard to find housing. It was hard to do all of these things. You were living in terrible places in the inner city, or, you know, in the South. It didn't really matter. The whole experience, super bad. Now, you guys know a lot of this stuff, but really, I want to take a step into this world for a second, right? So forget the fact that there are, you know, lots of catchwords. Oh yes, I know the vocabulary word Jim Crow laws. It's not about vocabulary for a second. Let's talk about the humanity here, right? If you are, in the 1910s, a black American, and you're walking through life, you want what everybody else wants. You want to be happy, you want to make enough money to survive, you want to maybe fall in love, have kids, you want to do whatever, you want to think, you want to read, you want to know stuff, you just want to live. And the white people around you are cruel and horrible, and they're just trying to take all of that away from you. Right? They look at you with disdain. They look at you like you are just subhuman, like you're just this disgusting thing. Like and this is horrible stuff. It's heartbreaking to think what those people really walked through. You know, you're just walking down the street and you can feel people hating you with their eyes. And that's your life. You just walk around, you feel people hating you. That's really horrible. Why do I want you to engage in this, right? Because it's not about keywords. It's not about the facts here. It's about the humanity. It's about the lack of humanity that existed in this country at that time. White people were not nice to black people at all. And then, in the midst of all of this, 1914 World War I breaks out. It is the worst war of all time. It's terrifying. It scares the crap out of, like, big politicians. It scares the crap out of little farmers. I mean, it's scaring everybody, okay? We had no idea how to deal with a war like this. We had no idea this war would be this big. You guys have learned a bit about World War I. It is bananas, okay? This war is crazy. A lot of people, so many people die, alright? And then, so, a couple of years later, 1917, America joins the war. 1 year after that, Bois, this guy right here. He runs the NAACP. He's a pretty intelligent guy, right? He has had a better life than most black Americans. He got educated. He was the first black American, the first black person in general to get a doctoral degree. So he's really up there. He's read a lot of books. He knows a lot of things. He's supposed to be, though, okay, so you're in the 1910s right now, and you're a black American. He's supposed to be on your side, this guy. He's supposed to be on your side. And he comes out, 1918. The war is still raging. And people still hate you when you walk down the street. They hate you with their eyes, okay? I mean, it's a horrible situation. And this guy comes out, and he says, hey guys, here's what we need to do. We need to go help those white people fight some other white people in a country that we don't care about, because don't worry, it's very important. Or in other words, you remember that white guy who murdered your cousin or murdered your son or, you know, lynched your best friend the other day? Yeah, we gotta go make sure he doesn't die over in Europe. And again, the humanity there. Okay, what is the reaction? How are you supposed to react? You're standing here, and you're this Black American, and you're just trying to live your life, and all these white people are hating on you, and somebody who's supposed to be on your team comes and says, "Hey, let's go make sure that guy doesn't die." I don't want to do that. I don't want to put my life in danger to protect someone who murdered my best friend, who hates me, who wants to make sure that I don't have an education. I don't want to help that person that wants my children to suffer, my children to have a horrible life. I don't want to do that. At all, right? Obviously. That's what we're looking at here. You're looking at that experience when it's honestly baffling. How do you react to that? A lot of people reacted with anger. A lot of people were not happy that Dubois came out and said this at all. I mean, like, super, super furious, and for good reason. Why on earth would we put our lives in danger to help those people who hate us, who have made our lives miserable for decades since slavery officially ended? Why? And they're mad. They're furious. But let's think about why. Okay, again, Dubois is a learned man. He's not an idiot. He didn't just say this for no reason. It has taken effort. It has taken, diligence to rise to this position of power inside the NAACP. Why did he say this? Because this war is scaring the crap out of everybody. And it's scaring the crap out of Dubois too. Because this war that we have never experienced anything like it before, this terrifying war, we know what war is like when you lose a little war. This terrifying war, we have no idea what it would be like to lose this war. No idea. And at the end of the day, all we want to do is just not lose it, because good grief, it's bad enough to be inside of it right now. We are losing so much just being in the war. If the war ends and we don't come out on top, goodness knows what's going to happen. And that is scary. Again, the humanity, you gotta step into this moment. We know now, with hindsight, Europe, England wins, and America wins, and France wins, okay, great. But that's not what it was at that time. They had no idea. They had no idea who was gonna win this war. No idea. That's terrifying. That's scary. It's really scary. Alright, so maybe Dubois was right to say this. Maybe he was wrong to say this. People are going to come down on both sides of this argument forever. But understand the motivations. Understand why Dubois said it. Understand why people were furious that he said it. Understand what's going on at the time and the real human element that's happening here. And take that understanding with you, and let's go and read this next passage and learn a bit more about this history.